Right, people. I should be live and I'm super excited about it. If I am actually indeed live, please let me know in the comments. If you are a Facebook user, I just put a link in the comments. That's actually the wrong link, of course. Okay, I put a new link in the comments. You need to click on that link so I can tell who you are, or otherwise just comment your name and if you would like a reading. This stream should be streaming on YouTube and on Facebook. So if it works, I'm super happy. If it doesn't, I'm going to go back to the drawing board. But, you know, I'm playing with new technology and trying to figure it out. Okay, so I have two people that commented, I'd love one, but I can't see who you are. It just says Facebook reader. So please, please tell me your name in the comments or click on that link that I posted. But I'm going to go ahead and pull and let me get it. An Asking It As Given card, because you guys know I love that. I like to get a little bit metaphysical. I like to get a little bit metaphysical up in here for these readings, and I feel like this kind of really sets the tone. So we're going to go ahead and pull one of these Abraham Hicks cards, and this card says, behind my every desire is my desire to feel good. And I love this. I love this card. Look at this one. And it says, there is no desire that anyone holds for any other reason other than they believe that they will feel better in the achievement of it. Whether it is material object, physical state of being, relationship, condition, or circumstance, at the heart of every desire is the desire to feel good. I talk to so many people for coaching clients, just friends, family, everyday life, and they tell me that they feel miserable, that they feel stuck, that they don't know how to move forward in their lives. And I really feel like that's because we are not trained as humans to reach for what feels good. We are trained to be cogs at a capitalist machine. We are trained to work for somebody else for the rest of our lives. We're trained to suffer, and you don't have to suffer. And I think that suffering only occurs in the mind. At least that's what the Buddha says. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask him when I die. But the Buddha says suffering is only in the mind. So what that means is that we always have a choice. We always have a choice how we're going to act, how we're going to react, how we're going to move forward. And I choose to be happy. I choose to feel happy, and I choose to move forward for beautiful manifestations and emotions that make me feel good. And if I don't feel good, I do whatever I can to help me feel good. And we should all be doing that. Okay, so the first person that I can see is Amanda Schaefer. And she says, I see you on Facebook. I'm going to go ahead and do a reading for Amanda. I don't know if you're still here or not. Amanda, I'm going to do a cat reading for you, if that's okay. I really like the cats. And they are a really big source of joy in my life. So I hope that you like cats too. We're going to go for it, Amanda. And then I'll just scroll on down the line. If you guys would like a reading, please comment and comment your name if you're a Facebook user, or click that link that I posted above. It's also in the description on the Facebook stream. Yep, perfect. Okay, Amanda. So I've got two cards for you here. All right, Amanda. You got two interesting cards. You got the Survivor for the energy that surrounds you. And so this is a cat. He's got 3 legs, and he is a survivor. There's a little dung beetle at his feet. And so the energy that surrounds you is this energy of healing. It's an energy of surviving. It's an energy of power. But the message here for you, for the energy that surrounds you, is you've done a really good job at surviving your whole life. And so now it's time to step into a different form of energy. It's time to step into an energy of thriving, of manifesting, of abundance, and again, of those really good reaching emotions, really good reaching feelings. And that is what your path and what your journey is right now. You know that you have been through a lot, but that doesn't matter. Right now, all that matters is that you are a survivor. You know how to do that. And so if you are on the verge of making any new decisions, or you on the verge of changing something in your life, the question that I want you to ask yourself is, what's the worst thing that can happen? Is there something that's really bad that can happen from you making this decision? I don't think so. What I always put myself like on this platform, and I'm like, when I'm trying to make really crazy decisions, I'm like, okay, what's going to happen if I make this decision? What's the worst thing? Like, is anybody going to die? Is anybody going to get hurt? Am I going to end up being homeless? If the answer to those things is no, most of the time I run forward and do a decision, because maybe I'm crazy and impulsive. I don't know. But I think that the best way to experience life to the fullest is to listen to the impulses of intent and intuition. And so it's my preference to run head forward and to do things. Now, I know everybody, they have different risk tolerance, as some finance people that I know would say, but I really do think that this is a time to take chances. We know what's happened in the past, so let's move forward and change it. And then your clarity card is the Hisser, which, again, this is another really super fun cat. And this cat has got his hackles are all raised, and he's really looks like he's having a bad time. And so I feel like the Hisser and the Survivor card is a very specific message. I actually pull those cards a lot together, and that tells me that you could be the Hisser right now, and you could be experiencing things, even if they're really good things, or even if they could benefit you, and you could hiss at them, because maybe you're used to hissing at things because maybe you're a survivor. So the message of these cat cards tonight for you, Amanda, is that you are divine, you are powerful, and you are stepping into your power. And don't block your new opportunities by your old mindset. And I hope that is helpful for you. And then the next person I have that's popped up on the feed is Christina. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll do a reading for Christina. Christina, I'm going to put my cats away, and I'm actually going to pull out my Chakra Oracle deck for you. I'm just going to like rotate through all the decks tonight. But Christina, I'll go ahead and pull 2 cards for you. And thank you guys all for everybody who has joined and who is watching. Feel free to leave a comment for me, and I will give you a reading. If you're a Facebook user, please also add your name to the comment, or at least your first name. Okay, so Christina. Oh, very good. I just had cards fall out, so that's always a wonderful sign. That means the message is super strong, Christina, in case you were wondering. So I got 2 cards for you, Christina. The first card is the energy that surrounds you, and I'm going to show you that card. This card is Instinct. And so this card, you see a wolf who's kind of got some spirit wolves in the background, a full moon. So again, this message of instinct is very super important. And this again, it's the same exact message as Amanda's, different cards, different deck, but same message. You have a good habit of taking care of yourself. You have a good track record. And so the message of instinct is to be able to be strong and to be silent enough to know what your instinct is saying. And then also to be able to understand and differentiate the difference between your instinct and your intuition and your traumas, your past traumas. And the message here is that sometimes those past traumas or those past experiences, it can really limit us. We can, I just posted a YouTube video about triggers and trauma. I really feel like triggers and trauma are a really big driving factor in what separates most of us from our intuition, is because we come up on really good opportunities in our life sometimes, and everything in our body, our wiring is like, oh my God, just wait a second. This reminds me of a time when something really bad happened. And so a lot of times we won't move forward into that really good, new opportunity or new position or new experience because we're afraid. We're afraid of what happened last time. So this is a really strong reminder to be strong and to be silent enough to listen to yourself, listen to intent, listen to your intuition. Your energy moving forward, Christina, is this Discovery card. Whew, I feel like that's really big energy. So the Discovery card, it's again talking about stepping into really big power and a really big knowing of who you are as yourself. And again, I really think that knowing who you are is being able to listen to your intuition and being strong enough and feeling safe enough to be able to step into your authentic self and to take direction and to change circumstance for yourself, regardless of what's going on and regardless of what happened to you in the past. And I think that you're a very strong woman. I think you're a very strong person. And I know that you can do this. So for the energy that surrounds you and for what's happening next for you, Christina, I see a lot of power, a lot of energy, a lot of decisive movement forward. And I see you doing really big things. So I'm happy and thank you. And I hope that helps you. Okay, we're going to move on to Courtney T. And Courtney, I'm going to pull the cats for you again. And again, this is the white cat oracle. It's just a white cat on black cards. That's the back of the cards. And I can't remember how many cards are in this deck, but this is one of my favorites because I love cats. I'm like kind of a crazy cat lady. Somebody told me to stop telling myself that I'm a crazy cat lady, that I'm just a cat lady. But like, I don't see being crazy as a bad thing. I grew up watching the Muppets, and I feel like those are a really crazy bunch of people. So, all right, Courtney T. Okay, all right. So, Courtney, you got the two of the same cats. So your energy that surrounds you is the stalker cat. And your energy that moves you forward is the solitude cat. And like I said, both of these cats are the same. They're the same tan cat. And so the energy that surrounds you is the stalker, which this is a message of waiting. It's a message of there are things coming to you, but now is not the time for action. Now is the time to sit, to be decisive, to stand in your power, and to wait for an opportunity. That is the magic of stalking. And I have been talking about stalking, specifically stalking yourself on Patreon for the past couple days now. And stalking yourself, it really refers to a deep sense of almost like self-reflection and being able to know yourself so deeply, again, so that you're able to step into your intuition and to listen to the impulses of intent. And so that can be a really difficult thing, a really big challenge for a lot of us, because all of us have experienced trauma, and we've all experienced times when we feel like we've done the wrong thing. So the message of the stalker is, you know what the right thing is. It's not the right time. The right time is nearing. It is almost there. And you're just waiting. You're in a moment of waiting. And then I think, so your clarity card moving forward is a solitude cat. I think what that means for you, Courtney T, is that you are moving into a position where it's time to make changes in your life. And for you to really make a decisive move, you need some solitude for yourself. And that might look like being able to take a hot bath once a week or once a day, depending on what your routine looks like. Or maybe it looks like driving out into the middle of the woods and just screaming into a tree or a hole in the ground for a little while until you release a lot of other stagnant energy. But at this point, I feel like it really means that you need to be by yourself. Not like you need to go into timeout or something like that, but really you just need a moment of solitude, maybe a vacation or something like that. So I'm putting that energy out there for you, and I'm excited for the big things that are coming to you as well. These energies from these readings are really a lot. Today, it's like, wow, there's a lot of really big things that are happening. So, whew, big readings. All right, next reading, I'm going to go ahead and pull for Courtney K now. And Courtney K, I am going to pull from this chakra deck again. And I'll get you 2 cards. Okay, like I said, anybody who's new joining the stream, please comment if you would like a reading. If you're a Facebook user, at least give me your first name, because I can't tell who you are unless you click the first link in the description on the Facebook stream. Ironing out all the details, my friends. Let me shuffle here for a second. Okay. Man, it really is a Throat Punch Friday. I feel like Throat Punch Friday. It's Throat Punch Thursday. I really feel like I am calling you guys out tonight. I'm very sorry for that. Whew. Yeah. Oh, Courtney, I'm sorry ahead of time. Courtney K. We had 2 Courtneys in a row. Courtney K, your energy that surrounds you is this insecurity. And so it's a little fuzzy on the stream, but the insecurity card is like this man who's standing like in this protective stance, and he's got like a demon that's like off to the side, kind of like really scary, and it looks like the man is protecting his heart, and it looks like the demon is after him. And so the message of insecurity is that you are perfect, you are beautiful, you are powerful, you are strong the way that you are. Don't let that inner critic or that inner saboteur or any of that inner dialogue take you off of the path that you are on, because you are already so strong. You are already so strong. Basically, this means that the only thing standing in the way is yourself, which newsflash to everybody else watching, that's true for all of us. We're standing in our own way. We are holding ourselves back. So Courtney K, the message to this is Sit with yourself and don't let those insecurities block you from potential opportunities. In the same thread, Courtney K, your energy that moves you forward, or your clarity card, is this isolation. I'll show you this one. And you see there's kind of like a blue figure who is looking at a tuxedo. So the story of this card is there's this person and they buy a really fancy outfit because they want to be invited somewhere where they would need a really fancy outfit. But when they get invited, they're afraid to actually use the outfit because they don't want to mess up the outfit. So the message of this card for your clarity moving forward is you have a lot of resources, and it might be time to take inventory of your resources. How much money do you have? How many assets do you have? How many investments do you have? How many projects do you have? How many friends do you have? How many connections do you have? Really sit and take inventory of all of those connections and assets that you have. And it doesn't just have to be money, but think of all the assets you have and think about the potential that you have for moving forward and using those assets for your benefit. Don't be afraid to mess up the assets or to lose the assets, because when you acquire things, they're meant to be used. You shouldn't hoard them. You shouldn't hoard anything. You shouldn't hoard wealth or cars or crystals. Sorry, I know that hurts some of us. I probably have a little bit more crystals than I need. But the message for you, Courtney K, is that you are strong and you are powerful. Don't stand in your own way. Be able to move forward fiercely and use all the resources that you have available to you. And I hope that's helpful. Okay, so I've got Miranda K next. And like I said, you guys, if I am skipping over people, feel free to drop a comment again in the bottom or at the end of the chat or whatever, and I will go ahead and pull a card for you. I don't mean to skip anybody, but the streaming software is a little bit weird and I'm still getting used to it. But Miranda, I'm going to go ahead and pick 2 cards for you. And then I will do a reading for Candace after Miranda. So here's Miranda. All right. Whew, these are all heavy. What is up with y'all's energy tonight? Okay, Miranda. So heavy. Okay, heavy, Miranda. Heavy. So you got this this grief card for the energy that surrounds you. And this card, man, it's heavy. Okay. This card is a woman carrying her dog, who is her lifelong friend, and the dog passed away. And so this card, of course, it speaks to this journey of walking through life with strength and integrity and tenacity, but knowing that there are losses along the way, and then figuring out how to pick up the pieces after those losses. And that's a lot. That's a lot for anybody to sit with. We all encounter losses. Some of us encounter more losses than others. I feel like that was an Animal Farm quote thrown in there. That was really weird. But Miranda, this speaks that there's a deep grief that's around you right now, a deep grief in your soul. I would look at purging your lungs. I would look at doing some lung support. The lungs are the organ of grief. I love mullein. You can make mullein tea, mullein infusion, mullein tincture. Mullein is a really great herb to support your lungs and to heal them. And I feel like when you are surrounded by grief, or you have grief in your spirit, that sometimes that can affect your lungs. So take care of your lungs right now. And then your clarity card, your moving forward energy, Miranda, is forgiveness. And it's this big rhino, and this little tiny kid is like cuddling with this rhino. That's terrifying. As a mother, I'm terrified of this card. But the message of this card is, I feel like forgiveness is a really big, scary rhino. I don't know if you guys look up stats in Africa, but like a lot of people are killed by rhinos and like hippopotamuses in Africa, apparently. Somebody look up the stats for me, but that's wild and crazy. So the message here is, a lot of times forgiveness can feel like a journey that is impossible to take. It can feel like a really big, scary monster, and it can feel like this is never going to end, and this is really super scary. But the message here, the medicine of this, is that any journey can be conquered, any monster can be feigned. And so you are on a really big journey right now. The journey is not over, unfortunately. A lot of times life is not a destination, and you never get there. You never totally conquer the journey, but sometimes you're able to sleep with your monsters. And so I hope that gives you a little bit of comfort. Like I said, look into some supportive herbs, some things that will make your body feel nice. And the biggest message here for you, Miranda, is be kind to yourself while you're going through everything, while you're going through life, while you're going through shadow work, processing, grieving, all of that. Be kind to yourself. A self-compassionate outlook and mindset in your life is what's going to help you the most out of anything. Okay, so now I'm going to pull a couple cards for Candace. Candace, I'm going to grab 2 cards for you, my friend. And then somebody said, I think they're from YouTube, you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? I will do a reading for you next, Mr. Krabs. Or maybe you're SpongeBob, I'm not sure. But we'll pull 2 cards for Candace. I've got my chakra deck, Candace, for you as well. I'm feeling it. Okay. Oh, wow. Come on with the heavy cards already. So Candace, I got for the energy that surrounds you, the completion card. And again, this is like a really heavy card. It's like a person mourning at a grave with like somebody who has passed. I don't know if you're experiencing death in your life. If you're not, a death doesn't always mean like a physical death. It doesn't always mean that somebody around you has died or will die. A lot of times it means that something in you has died. A cycle, a thought habit, a pattern of belief, a way of being has died. Perhaps a job or a circumstance or friendship has died. And now it's time to move on. And so the medicine of the energy that surrounds you, of the experiences that you're going through right now, is that sometimes things have to end for there to be true healing. And as difficult as that medicine is to take, that is definitely very applicable for all of us as we go through life's transitions. Again, I say this in a lot of the videos, but change is not what makes life painful. It's our resistance to allowing that change that creates a lot of pain for us. And so don't be resistant to change. Even if you feel like a lot of things around you are ending or you just don't know what's going on right now, try to ride the waves, or so to speak, and understand that the waves right now are really big, really scary maybe, but it leads to completion. It leads to a sense of healing, and it leads to a sense of peace. The energy that surrounds you moving forward is the grief card, which we just pulled, and I did shuffle the cards. But again, this card speaks to being kind to yourself and knowing that things end. Things end. And that's the only thing that we have in life. That's the only thing that we are guaranteed. We know that things will end. We know everything has a natural lifespan. And so as humans, we really have to set about to be intentional about the natural order of things and the natural lifespan of things. Are you holding on to relationships or situations in your life that do not serve you? Are you holding on to things that possibly are causing you more pain? Are they taking away your energy? And how can you let go of those things? Grieve, process, do that. Be kind to yourself, but do move forward in integrity with your own self and your own spirit. And I hope that's helpful, Candace. Mr. Krabs, you said you want to look at your next 6 months. I don't know, man. I'm gonna pull this chakra oracle for you. I'm gonna pull 2 cards, and we'll see what the cards say, and I'll give you a message. How about that? I feel like the whole next 6 months is a long time span, dude. So that might be like 6 cards, and I'm just doing 2 tonight. So we'll see what happens. All right, Mr. Krabs. This is a really cool reading. Again, these cards look almost exactly the same. And so the energy that surrounds you is this joy card. Your clarity card moving forward is despondence. Tell me those cards look the same. They're just different colors. So, Mr. Krabs, the energy that is surrounding you is this energy of joy. And so that is like a really great card for any of us to get. And this person is really just like dancing in the moment of life. They're surrounded in a field of flowers and power and potential and creation. And so I do believe that this person in the reading is you. And so the message here is you are to live in your own joy. You're to follow your own heart's content, your own impulses, and to do the things that make you feel well. If you are in a job, a relationship, a situation where you do not feel joy or you do not feel well, get out and find a way to create more joy in your life. If you're experiencing a lot of joy in your life, good for you. Hang on to it. The message for clarity for moving forward is despondence. So a lot of spiritual new age people talk about, finding your joy, and they talk about it in a way that I think is unhealthy. Maybe it leads to toxic positivity. But I want you all to understand, especially you, Mr. Krabs, because this is your reading. But I want you all to understand that your joy is very important, but don't hurt others on your path to find joy. So first of all, whenever you are moving forward in your life, experiences, circumstances, always protect your balance, but don't go out intentionally hurting people because you're finding your joy or speaking your truth or something like that. So this is a message, I think, of finding your joy, but also finding your balance. And that's another thing that I really talk a lot about in readings and on Patreon. I really believe that a lot of us are imbalanced and that we've been taught to do things that are out of balance with our own souls and our own spirits. So in order to be your most authentic person, you need to protect your balance, but don't do things maliciously. So it's just a really good message for you. If you're asking for what's going on for the next 6 months, I would say this is going to be a journey about balance and about moving forward in your life and really finding that balance, but also finding that joy. And if you have it, like I said, keeping that joy, retaining that joy. And I hope that was helpful, Mr. Krabs. Okay. Somebody said proud crazy cat lady. Okay. Again, Facebook people who are commenting, please at least put your first name so I know who you are and I will do a reading. The next person that I can see on my list is Crystal. Crystal, if you're still with us, I would love to do a reading for you. And I'm going to go ahead and pull 2 cards for you, Crystal. And I'm gonna keep going with the chakra deck because I feel like there's a lot of like energy going around with this chakra deck. It's kind of speaking hotness tonight. Okay, Crystal. Great. So Crystal, the energy that surrounds you is this gossip card. And again, these cards are a little hard to see with my camera. I thought maybe it would be a little better on the close-ups, but it's not. But this gossip card is this woman who is literally like dancing, spinning, living in her own joy, while there's 2 like Karens next to her who are just looking at her and gossiping at her and like commiserating about how much her joy is annoying everybody else. And so when this card shows up in a reading, Crystal, this can mean sometimes that people are talking about you, or it can mean that people are directly talking to you and saying things that are trying to eliminate your joy or to invalidate your experience or invalidate the choices that you've made in your life. And so the message of this gossip card is gossip is just talk. It's just words. Yes, words can be hurtful, but they're just words. It's just energy. If you vibe higher, if you put out a better, higher, bigger, more powerful vibration than those people that are gossiping, that gossip just bounces right off of you. It bounces off your energy body and it doesn't matter. And so the message of the gossip card is it doesn't matter what other people say. You just keep moving forward because at the end of the day, most of those people don't pay your bills. Those people are not a big factor in your life. And this might be a time where you reevaluate your balance and your energy and start to think about your relationships. What relationships are you continually pouring into and nurturing and they're not yielding back fruit to you? So are you continuing to nurture relationships in your life where people talk about you behind your back or they gossip about you when you're not around? Or maybe they talk mean to you around your face, which is the worst. But if you're around these types of people, start to take inventory of those relationships and see which relationships fill you up. And how you know if a relationship is harmonious, if it nurtures you, if it gives you good fruit is, you really check in with yourself, your body, your intuition. After you have an interaction with these people, your friends, your family, whomever, after you have an interaction with them, how do you feel? Do you go home or do you hang up the phone and you say, oh my gosh, I feel so good. I feel so much better. I feel really supported. Or are you like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed out now. If the answer is you're so stressed out right now, it's time to distance yourself. And then your clarity card, energy moving forward, Crystal, is the impatience card. And it's like there's this person who's reaching up on a ladder and they're trying to reach for the moon. And Great Spirit is behind them saying, ooh, calm down now. It's not yet time. And so the message of this impatience card is you have some really big things in the work. You have probably some really big manifestations, maybe some goals, some experiences that you're planning out. And the message of this card, the medicine of this card is you can't reach for the moon if you just have a ladder, right? it might be real easy to build a ladder. You can build a really tall ladder, but you're not going to reach the moon unless you have a rocket ship. So sometimes it takes a little bit more planning to get to where you're going. So I would definitely say take inventory of the people who are around you and make sure that you're being around people who are very kind, very supportive of you while you reach for this high goal. But also be kind to yourself in this reaching, because you're going to get there. You are definitely going to get there. There's not a doubt in anyone's mind that you're going to get to where that reaching goal, that reaching manifestation is, Crystal. But the problem here is you might fall off the ladder a couple times. Wait, practice stalking. And when you know it's the right time, you will know and act on your intuition. But the cards say it's not the right time yet. So be cautious about that. Okay. Facebook user says, I would like a reading, and my name is Kaylee. Welcome, Kaylee. I will go ahead and do a reading for you. Anybody else who's tuning into this live stream, feel free to comment. If you are a Facebook user, please at least put your first name so I know who you are, so I can connect with you. Okay, and Kaylee, I am going to go ahead and pull 2 cards for you. Man, my face feels flushed because I feel like I'm really laying down some heavy messages tonight. Kaylee, this is a deep one. This is a heavy one. This is why we call this Throat Punch Thursday, for nights like these when I punch everybody in the throat. And I'm so sorry. But the energy that surrounds you is the victim. And this card is, it's like this acorn, and the acorn feels helpless. And there's like a dragon in the background, and there's like a squirrel in the background, and the dragon and the squirrel are fighting over who gets to eat the acorn. And the acorn is like, are you guys serious? I don't want to be eaten. And so the message of the victim card is you're never, even if it feels like it, you are never in a position where you are completely stuck, where there is nowhere to turn, where there is nothing you can do. You are never in that type of position. You might feel like you're in a position where, wow, there's a lot of stuck or stagnant energy. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how to move forward out of this time. If you are feeling stuck or stagnant, speak to a trusted friend and think about all of your options. Think about 10 options. If you can only think of one other option to get you out of the situation, think of 10 more and really sit there and think about them until you come up with a lot of options. And the message of this card is you're never stuck. The acorn has a wonderful potential to become a really solid, huge oak tree if the acorn wishes to move down that path. You don't have to resign to be eaten by a dragon or a squirrel. Kaylee. So the message is you need to get out of your own way. You're standing in your own way right now, and you are not stuck. You are not stuck. And your clarity card, your energy moving forward, is the enlightenment card. This is perfect. This is a perfect card. Perfect reading for also for the victim card. So the energy moving forward to you is the enlightenment card. And this is a message. When it's paired with the victim card, it's a very stark message that says that that you can't believe yourself to be a victim. Yes, bad things happen to all of us. I cannot deny that, especially with the things that I've experienced in my life. Sometimes bad things happen to you, but what you do forward and what you do with the energy of those bad things that happen to you, it's totally up to you. It's totally up to you to make a difference and to be different and to allow these things not to change you, but to give you clarity. And so even bad things, even horrible things that happen to you in your life, they can still provide you a lot of clarity. And just a message on enlightenment and on being woke. You don't ever get woke. If you think you're woke, go back to sleep. I think Abraham Hicks says that. But being woke or being enlightened is not this destination. You don't just wake up one day on the peak of a Mount Everest or some high mountain somewhere and you're like, oh man, I reached bliss, nirvana, I am totally enlightened. Enlightenment is this continual journey where we are breaking ourselves down, where we do play the victim card sometimes, and where we experience some things that we would rather not, and we gain clarity from them, and all helps us on our path of moving forward to enlightenment, moving forward on the journey of enlightenment, and moving forward in clarity and authenticity of ourselves. So this is a message, a very big message, to listen to yourself and your intuition. And when you tune into that intuition, you know that you're not stuck. You know that there's plenty of options. Maybe there's not plenty. Maybe there's just one little tiny cracked window that you can crawl out of. But there is always options. Always. Okay. That was a big one. I'm sorry. But so the next person that I have on the stream is Sue Gurley. Perfect. And then, like I said, if anybody else is watching, if you tuned in on the stream and you would like a reading, please go ahead and comment and let me know that you would like a reading. If you're a Facebook user, just give me your first name at least, and I will pull a couple cards for you. But Sue, we're gonna pull 2 cards for you, my friend. Got 1. Oh, and that one fell out, so that's yours. Okay, so first off, Sue, this is a Chakra Oracle deck. I pulled 2 of these blue cards. So that is the message of like third eye, brow, communication, connection to the divine, connection to yourself, connection to your intuition. So this reading is very heavy in that like third eye or brow energy, if you will. So the first card that you get, this is the energy that surrounds you. You got the card called Vanity. And it's like this wizard guy who's like wrecking, he's like crashing a party or something. And so in the story, there's these people and they like have more money than they know what to do with. They're like the rich billionaire socialite types. And they're at this party. And then all of a sudden this wizard like shows up and they're like, man, you are being like really super ridiculous right now. Your fancy clothes don't matter. This party doesn't matter. All the money you have doesn't matter. And he starts like, he casts a spell in this party room and starts filling it up with like a bunch of water. Okay. So this is like a crazy story. And the people who are at this party, they're like freaking out. They're like, okay, we're going to drown now. This is terrible. And then all of a sudden they have a change of heart and they realize that the water isn't as bad as what they think it is. And so they move forward and they start playing in the rain. And that is what essentially breaks the spell and allows them to go back to a life of things that really matter. And so this Vanity card, it doesn't really speak to like, oh, you're so vain, you put on too much makeup or something. Like it more speaks to paying attention to things in your life that don't really matter. So are you paying attention to a career or a hobby, or again, people in your acquaintance or friend circle that are not good for you? And or are you just distracted? Are you distracted by all the things that go on in life, too distracted to pay attention to your authentic self? And if the answer is yes, it's time to sit with yourself and to get back to who you really are, to really understand your identity and to really understand what you enjoy and what things cause joy in your life, what things create joy in your life. And this is really great. And so the energy moving forward, the clarity card for you, Sue, is the expansion card. So what I read this as is if you can move past this card, you can get this card. And so, of course, expansion, man, before you can expand, you got to contract. That is just the way of the world. That is the natural order of our life, unfortunately. And so while you are in this process now of figuring out what's really important to you, it might feel like you're being squeezed, or it might even feel like you're being crushed in some instances. But just know that the great expansion comes after this. So basically, you know, if you subscribe to the Abraham Hicks ideology and way of viewing things, a lot of times you experience things that you don't want before you experience things you do want. And the reason for that is we have all these ideas about our desires and our goals and our manifestations and the things that we think we want. But a lot of times we don't actually want those things. We think we want them. And as we go down this journey of moving towards those things that we're manifesting and that we're working on, we find some other shiny object that captures our attention. And then it's all of a sudden we want that other thing. So a lot of times this path of manifestation, it's not very clear and it's not very straightforward. And sometimes we set out desires or manifestations for things that we don't super want. But the journey of achieving those things that we think we want leads us into this wonderful path of exploration and expansion of finding out the things that we really do want. And I guess the best, that's kind of crazy terms, but to put it into better clarity, like put it into this idea of like relationships. Think of your relationships. Like if you're in a really bad relationship, maybe you really super wanted a relationship, you were single and you found this person and you thought they were perfect. And so you got into this relationship with them and then you find out they are less than perfect and there's a lot of issues with that relationship. And so it can feel like, wow, I launched this desire so that I could, you know, attract a relationship for myself and it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. And so you have to get over that grief of not getting what you want and just understand that that is a way to narrow down your desire before you can expand and really move on to get that life partner who is very happy for you or very perfect for you. And of course, this goes for everything in life, whether it's money, a job, a new house, or a partner, whatever it is that you are looking to experience further or in greater depth. You have to move through some things that you don't want. And once you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. And you can have better clarity in your decisions and you're moving forward. And I hope that is helpful for you, Sue. Okay, so the last reading that I have for tonight, I think it's it's LaDonna. And like I said, if I missed anybody or if anybody is on the stream just now jumping in, please comment if you would like a reading. If you're on Facebook, please at least give me your first name because I can't see it on my streaming software. There we go. Okay, LaDonna, so I'm going to go ahead and pull 2 cards for you, my friend. Okay. I dropped all the cards. I can't read all the cards, LaDonna. Hang on. Let me find a good one. I gotta shuffle a couple more times. All right. Okay, I will take it. I will take it. Okay, LaDonna. So the energy that moves you forward is the sycophant. And I'll show you. It's like this cat that's like being really super lovey to its master. And this is a message that the cat still has claws. Sometimes there's people around you and they act like they really super love you and they're like, oh, whatever, I want to pinch your cheeks. And then they like claw your eyes out and you're like, what the heck just happened here? So the message is enjoy your beautiful connections while they last. Enjoy your friendships, enjoy your experiences, enjoy your conversations, enjoy your time with people. But don't be surprised if people act ruthlessly sometimes. It's not a you thing. It's just a people thing, unfortunately. And that's okay. I think that is the nature of change, and that's just the nature of reality and what we experience as humans. That people are somewhat independable. They're very malleable and they change often. So don't let other people bring your vibe down, and enjoy what you have. And if it changes tomorrow and you don't have that connection or friendship or relationship or experience or conversation, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because there's plenty more out there. And I definitely believe, I'm not like a Christian person or anything, but I really believe that story that people say, they're like, when God closes one door, he opens another, or he opens a window. I believe that. So I believe that if spirit brings a certain person or connection out of your life, that you are simply contracting and then expanding to make room for another person or another friend circle or another something. And then your energy that's moving forward is the glutton card. And it's this fat cat that ate a canary. I love him. I just love this deck so much. So the message of the glutton, the energy card, the moving forward, I really do think that this card for you, it speaks to enjoyment. It speaks to letting go of your, what is that word? Letting go of your need for expectations. Release all of your expectations and simply move forward in authenticity and integrity and know that you are doing the best things for yourself. And LaDonna, I hope that helps you. I hope that you listen to your intuition and just sit, breathe, and take in all of the magic and power of your being. And then Michaela. Sure, Michaela, I will do a reading for you. Anybody else who's jumping on the stream, feel free to comment and I will definitely get you a reading. Okay, Michaela, let me get 2 cards for you. I'm going to get this one. Okay. I am super excited. My husband just left the house to go get Penang curry. And it's like super spicy and I need some spice in my life. Do you ever just eat things that are so hot that your eyes water and your whole family is like, are you okay? Like, I'm fine. I just really need some spicy stuff. Whew. I think the readings tonight are really spicy too. Anybody else who is catching this on the replay or who will tune in later to watch the replay, it was spicy tonight. Okay, Michaela, I got 2 cards for you. And the energy that surrounds you, it's this card that is called Bittersweet. And this Bittersweet card, it talks to changing cycles. A lot of times it can speak to like moving forward, especially as you age or as seasons change in your life. So, I mean, we experience a lot of seasons in our life. We experience, being small people and then becoming adults and then becoming older folks and then becoming grandparents eventually. So we go through these different seasons and cycles in our life. And there's lots of seasons and cycles everywhere that we look and turn. Sometimes there's even seasons and cycles with our long-term partners, our life partners, or our really deeply held friendships. And so the bittersweet is knowing that things continue to change and you're going to continue to progress and mature like a fine wine, like a beautiful, goddess that you are. But there is always some bittersweetness in leaving one cycle and moving forward into the next cycle. And so the medicine of this is just enjoy the damn cake. People always say you can't have your cake and eat it too. I think you can. So Michaela, eat your cake. Eat your cake. Enjoy the sweet things in life, and enjoy everything that you've experienced in the past and in the past season and cycle, and make ready for the new cycle to enter into your life. Your clarity card energy moving forward is this complacency card. And I feel like this can be very much directly related to the bittersweet card, because sometimes it's hard for us to see, understand, honor, recognize those new seasons and cycles when they present themselves. Sometimes we really feel like we belong in the last cycle, and we don't want things to change or to be different or to end. You know, we don't want to invite this new adventure because we're so used to what we have. But a lot of times that new adventure can bring more beautiful blessings than we could ever even imagine for ourselves. And that's just waiting around the corner if we would just slide into that next season with ease. So the message here for you, Michaela, is that avoid complacency, and you can avoid complacency by doing new things, and by looking at yourself, by looking at reality, by looking at your seasons and seeing what you need to let go, and then moving forward after that. I think that's all the readings I have for tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and pull one more Abraham Hicks card. And while I pull this card to send us off for tonight, I just want to thank everybody on here who joined on the stream, who is a Patreon subscriber. Anybody who is not a Patreon subscriber, that is my main source of income right now as a spiritual creator. So that really helps me out if you can go check out my Patreon. Or if you don't want to subscribe right now, feel free to share it with your friends, because that really helps me. I give daily divinations for the day and for the energy of the day, and I really super enjoy being able to share those divinations. So those go out to my Patreon members all the time. And I also have a private Discord server for patrons. So if you guys are interested in that, go ahead and give it a check out. It's in the descriptions of these videos. And here's our last card. Okay, so our last card says, I am a vibrational transmitter and receiver. And it's like this tiny house out in the woods with beautiful stars and shining light, just kind of really focusing in on that house. And this card says, in every moment, you are broadcasting a very specific vibrational signal that is instantly being understood and answered. And immediately your present and future circumstances begin changing in response to the signal you are projecting. The entire universe right now is being affected by what you are offering. And so, oh my God, I do not have time tonight to get into quantum physics with you lovely people. That is a whole nother YouTube video in itself. But basically, I am a vibrational transmitter and receiver. This is so applicable to everything in life, and energy and manifestation and moving forward and claiming your power and stepping in your authenticity. If you really want something really super bad, and you do the work and you manifest and you put those ideas out there because you're really trying to attract something new into your situation, and you don't have your frequency tuned the right way, you can't catch that manifestation. And so this is just a message that your emotions, they help you tune that scanner, that vibrational scanner that helps us catch and attract new things into our life. And your emotions are something, they're not good, they're not bad, they're simply indicative of where we are at in this moment right now, right here, right now. And so the message here is, do not work to improve your mindset and to manifest things by stuffing down your emotions and forgetting about them. Instead of forgetting about your emotions, I want you to move forward in perfect authenticity with yourself. Honor those emotions and figure out where those emotions are coming from. You should not have to force joy. You should not have to force happiness. Happiness and joy, they should be easy for you. And if they're not, there's something that's not quite right. If you're feeling other kinds of emotions, there's something you need to dive into, to hold, to cradle it, to honor it, to love it dearly, and to ask yourself, why am I feeling these things? Give yourself permission to feel those things. Give yourself permission to feel bad. There are so many people in the metaphysical community that do not honor themselves and honor their negative emotions. A lot of people in the new agey circles don't feel like they are allowed to feel bad, or they're allowed to feel sad, or they're allowed to feel grief, or they're allowed to feel bad sometimes. You are allowed to feel bad, and you should not work to change your emotions. I don't advocate for that. I think it's bad. I think masking your emotions or something like that is dangerous work, because I think that leads to repressing our emotions. And if you repress your emotions, you're repressing your true self and your authenticity. So do not repress yourself. Understand that your emotions just tell you, it's like a GPS or a guidance system. It tells you where you're at right here, right now in this time, but work to feel those better emotions. And if you are stuck in a place where you feel more lower base emotions, more, as you would call, maybe negative emotions than good emotions, then what I want you to do is every time you feel a slight taste or spark of joy or a spark of happiness or a spark of something that you really super just love to participate in, I want you to grab onto it. I want you to journal it. I want you to write it down, and I want you to pay attention to it, because what you focus on expands. And so if you want to increase your joy and increase your happiness and increase those higher scale range emotions, pay attention to them and journal about them every time that you get. And I promise you, you will find more of them. Anyways, that is it for tonight. I really appreciate all of you guys who have jumped on the live stream and all of the people who support me on Patreon. You guys are all wonderful. I will catch you again next Thursday at 7 p.m. for another Throat Punch Thursday and intuitive reading session. Thanks, guys, and have a great night.